Hi everyone, I just thought I'd put the video on a little bit beforehand. For some reason, if I have my phone landscape, it just won't film, so it did just ask me to turn around again. It would be better really if I could do it landscape, but it is what it is. While I'm thinking about it, I'll just shut the living room door, and we don't have any cats or kids coming in. Okay, so I'm Jen, welcome to the session. If you haven't done Pilates before, just bear in mind that there is a lot to remember. We need to hold our stomach muscles in, we also need to breathe correctly, and then we're also learning new exercises as well if we haven't done them before. So just do what you can stop whenever you need to, and I'll just recommend that you would stay with the lower levels if it is your first time today. Obviously, if you have any injuries, conditions, concerns, then do just look after anything that needs looking after. So like I say, you can bring it down a level or you can stop whenever you need to. Okay, so we're going to have a nice relaxing session on the floor today. So we're going to have a roll over onto our backs, and we're going to do some mobility and warm up first, like we would with any exercise session. So we're just going to have our arms relaxed on the floor. We're just looking up to the ceiling. We're just going to engage the stomach muscles, so we just gently squeeze the belly button towards the spine so that you can feel a little contraction in the stomach, but not so intense that you can't maintain it while you do your exercises. We're going to breathe nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to use that breathing to help us control our speed, remembering that less is more where speed is concerned. So we're going to start off by taking a breath in, and then on the out breath we're just going to slide the heel. We keep the heel down on the floor, and then we inhale as we slowly return, and then we go again. So we breathe out, we slide the heel away, and we breathe in. So we maintain stability in the hips and in the pelvis. So we're just warming up the lower body, getting some mobility into the knee and the hip and the ankle, warming up the muscles in the legs. So if you are new this evening, or you just get confused about where to breathe, we breathe out as we take away, breathe in as we return. There are some exceptions, but not too many, and I'll let you know about those when we do them. Okay, so we're going to switch onto the other side now. So I know you can't see my heel as it goes off the camera, but it is staying down on the floor, so just take it nice and easy, keeping that heel on the floor, inhaling as you return. Just a nice deep breath out as you slide away, and a big breath in as you return. So we're just going to do a couple more of those, just making sure we keep that little space between the lower back and the floor, not letting the back arch. Excellent, nice work. Okay, so our next job is to just roll over onto our side. So you're going to face towards me. This is a lovely mobility exercise for the spine. So we're bringing our knees and feet together. We bring our feet up towards our bum and have our feet lined up in a nice straight line with the back. And then just bring our hands forward, let the head rest on the floor. So we're taking a breath in, and then as we breathe out, we just slowly twist round. And then we inhale as we return. So if you're quite stiff in the spine, don't worry too much, don't force the movement. If you can't get your arm to the floor, that's fine. It should just feel really nice and gentle. got one more. Okay, so we're going to roll over onto the other side. So you can either just roll over to face the back of the room, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is just to come up, swing the legs around. So then we repeat. So we're doing the same thing, but on the other side. This is such a lovely release for the spine, this one, it's really nice. I almost hear your back saying, oh, thank you. So as we do this one, we keep watching the hand, so your eyes are continuously following the fingertips. Well done everyone, we're just going to do one more of those. Excellent, so we're now going to finish off the warm-up. We're rolling over onto our backs. And we have our arms by our sides. We're going to take a breath in, and then on the out breath, we're just going to take one arm past the head, and we just rotate the shoulders so that the thumb touches the floor first. Now as we breathe in, we're going to change those arms. So we've got rotation through the shoulders. So now we've come back onto our backs. We're aware of that neutral spine position, just keeping a little space between the lower back and the mat. So we're going to do a couple more of those on each arm. And then we're going to bring our arms back to the floor by our sides. Okay, so we're going to move into the main session now. So this is where I'll give you different levels of intensity to choose from. So we're going to roll over onto our sides, and we're going to just let the head rest on the arm. We're going to do an exercise to strengthen our oblique muscles. So you've got a couple of options here. You're going to take a breath in, and then on the out breath, I want you to stretch from your fingertips to your toes. So that stretch just creates a very small lift of the legs. So keep that stretch maintained. Your first option is to take a deep breath in. No, it's not. Your first option is to just breathe normally and just stay as you are there. And then your second option is to take a breath in, and then on the out breath, your top leg moves forward, and then you breathe in as you return. Breathe out, and breathe in. You've got a third option, which is to breathe out, take the leg away, breathe in, and then breathe out, lift your top leg, breathe in. Oh, I'm feeling legs, bums and tums yesterday as I do that. So again, maintain that little bit of a stretch so that your bottom leg isn't returning to the floor. The slower you go, the further you go, the more you increase the range of movement. If you're doing the first option and you want a bit more of a challenge but you don't want to do the leg movement, then you can bring your hand away from the floor, and that will challenge your core so that you're not rolling forwards or rolling backwards. So they are your three options there. So again, you can just maintain that stretch. The closer your hand is to you, the less support it gives to you. So if you just need a little bit, just bring it nice and close and just be right up on the fingertips there. So some of you may be able to do no hand and do the second or third option. Entirely up to you. Keep those abdominals maintained in the contraction, and make sure your bottom leg isn't coming down to rest on the floor. Definitely feeling legs, bums and tums from yesterday. Oh. Okay, we're just going to do one more. Okay, well done. Then we're going to bring the legs down, slide your top leg up towards you. Okay, before we do that one on the other side, we're going to roll over onto our stomachs, and we're going to do the swan dives. This is a great one for the back, so the muscles that go down either side of the spine. So we're bringing the arms just so that the elbows are at shoulder height. We're tucking the chin in, we're taking a breath in, keep pulling the stomach muscles in, and then on the out breath we're just slowly lifting the head, shoulders, top of the chest, and then we breathe in as we slowly release back down to the floor. So it's not a huge movement, and make sure you're not lifting your legs and lifting your feet off the floor. So for the maximum benefit for the muscles in the back, we just need to allow the lower body to relax. Option 2 is for your arms to come up away from the floor. So again, we're just relaxing as much as we can. So try not to squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your elbows really high. Just keep your elbows in line with the body through that movement. And then your final option is to stretch your arms above the head. And again, it's that same movement with your hands, arms, head, shoulders, raising from the floor. So if you do struggle with your back, you may just need to come back down to the first option. And again, the breathing is to breathe out. So exhale on the way up and inhale on the way down. Keep gently squeezing those stomach muscles. So like I said at the introduction, if you do need to stop at any time during these exercises, feel free to stop anytime you need to. So if you feel as if your control or your technique is starting to go, then just take yourself into a release stretch or just relax if you're not sure what stretch to do. So for this one, we're going to bring ourselves into child pose, and then we're just going to bring the arms next to the legs. If you can't do that stretch, if your knees or your hips don't allow it, then you can just bring yourself up onto your side and hug your knees up towards you that way. Okay, so we're going to move on to another exercise before we do that side kick that we did earlier on the other side. So we're going to do the swimming exercise. So bringing our hands under our shoulders and we're placing our knees hip width apart. Okay, so we just gently squeeze those stomach muscles in again. We take a breath in, and then on the out breath we slide our toes along the floor. We breathe in, we bring the knee back under the hip, but we don't let the knee touch the floor. So in other words, we're not putting our weight back onto that leg. Now for the progression, we breathe out, we slide the toes along the floor, and then we lift the leg. Then we inhale, we bring our toes back down, and then we slide forward. So all that time we're keeping our body weight centered. Okay, now there is another option. I would only recommend this one if you are experienced at doing Pilates, you've been doing it a good while and you've got good core strength, and that is to slide your opposite hand away. As the leg lifts, the arm lifts, and then they come back together. Okay, so keep that going. I'm just going to shuffle forward, just so that you can see that my foot stays on the floor. Otherwise, it turns into a legs, bums and tums type of exercise. So you've got overactivation of the glutes, which is fine in a legs, bums and tums class. But in this case, we want to focus on abdominal and back strength. So those toes stay down and then away. If you're feeling it in your wrists as well, that's very, very normal. So don't think that that's because you're doing it wrong. So just make sure you keep your weight centered over the arms and your supporting leg. Okay, so one more there if you can. And then we're going to sit back into child's pose, but this time we're going to keep our hands out in front of us. So we've taken that stretch more upper back. Okay, so then we're going to repeat the exercise on the other side. So we're setting up into the same position, knees under hips. Again, remember to keep those stomach muscles pulled in, keep your spine as flat as you can by maintaining that contraction. So we're taking a breath in to begin with, and then on the out breath, we take away. It may be on one side you're a little bit stronger than the other, so you can adapt the level if you need to. And again, as that knee comes back under the hip, we keep our body weight off that leg. Try and keep your hips as square to the floor as you can. Keep going, I'm just going to grab a bit of water. Okay, so just going to do a couple more there. And then you've got your release stretch again. So like I showed you earlier, if you can't manage this stretch, you can just flip over onto your side. Okay, so before it leaves my head, we're going to just take our legs round to the other side of the room. And we're going to do the side kick now on the other side. So just make sure that you're not doing the same side as before. So we're just coming down to the floor, head rests on the arm, take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, stretch from the fingertips to the toes. Take a breath in. And breathe out. So for the first level, you're just keeping the feet together, breathing normally. And then this is your second option, where you just move the leg forward and back. And then your third option is forward and back, followed by up and down. Yep, feeling yesterday's legs, bums and tums once again. And remember, option, if you just want that little bit more of a challenge, is to take that support hand away. So the slower we go, the further we go, the harder we're working, and just make sure that that bottom leg hasn't snuck back down to the floor. legs down to the floor, and then take yourself into release stretch. Okay, so we're going to bring ourselves up to sitting position now. And we're going to do the seated spine twist. This is a really lovely one for the spine. So just have a little break from the strength and move on to some mobility. So you can sit yourself with your legs here in this position, or you can bring yourself to having your feet flat, your legs flat on the floor, or your feet flat. Just be wary with that one, because it does sometimes make you kind of roll back. And what we want with this particular exercise is to keep a nice straight spine. So we're bringing our hands together, separating the fingers, middle fingers under the chin, thumb to the chest. We relax our shoulders back and down. We take a breath in, and then on the out breath we just slowly twist. Then we breathe in, we come back to centre, and then we breathe out as we twist to the other side. So you can keep your hands in this position, just kind of acts as a guide. So if you're not familiar with this exercise, it is a good one just to make sure that you're keeping the chin in the centre of the body and that you're not just turning your head. For those of you that are more used to doing the exercises, you've got a couple of options. Number one is to just fold the arms in front of you. So again, just make sure that you're not tempted to turn your head. So we're keeping the chin in line with the midline of the body. And then your option is to take your arms out. So after a while with that one, your arms will get heavy. So again, it's all about working to your level and experience. So the one we really need to watch out for with this one is kind of moving your arms independently, so the arms just stay in the same position relative to the upper body as you twist. So they shouldn't be moving independently. Might be as close to an aeroplane as we get this year. So again, just slightly less intense is to bring the arms into that folded position, or bring it right back to basic is bringing those hands together. So we're just going to do one more in each direction. And relax in the centre. Okay, so we're going to bring ourselves now, staying in sitting position, but I'm just going to turn sideways so that you can see. We bring our hands to the backs of our thighs, we sit up tall, we take a breath in, we tilt the pelvis, we curve through the spine, and then we bring ourselves up to sitting positions. This is a great one for strengthening the stomach muscles. We inhale, tilt, curve, roll back. Exhale as we come back up to sitting position. Okay, so if you're feeling like you want some more intensity, we bring the arms out, we breathe in, and then we breathe out. We slowly take the arms overhead, then we breathe in, arms, head, shoulders come up together, and then we exhale as we sit up nice and tall at the top. Okay, so that's the more advanced version. If you want to go somewhere in between, then you'll take those 2 breaths and you'll just go slightly less range of movement. So you inhale and you exhale. Once you feel you need to just stop and change direction, you inhale again and then exhale as you sit up tall. It's quite challenging on the stomach muscles, this one. So if you do feel as if your muscles are shaking, it is a normal reaction. So again, you can take it all the way to the floor. Just beware, wary of your technique, making sure that you maintain control all the way through. Okay, when you're ready, you're just going to bring yourself down to the floor, take a full body stretch. So you're just pointing your toes, taking your arms overhead, stretching from the toes to the fingertips. Okay, so we're going to move on now, bringing heels to bum, slide and grip. So my favourite Pilates exercise, I've said this many times before, feet, knees and hips in line. We're bringing the heels towards the bum, arms are relaxed on the floor. We take a breath in, we tilt the pelvis, we push the lower back into the floor, so we're closing that space of the neutral spine. And then we exhale as we come back up onto the shoulders. And then we inhale, we slowly lower the spine, one vertebra at a time, and then we exhale back into neutral spine and pelvis. So we inhale and we exhale up, and we inhale and exhale down. Your option for the progression is to inhale and exhale. Inhale, take your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor, and then inhale and exhale as you release. Just going to do a couple more. And then bring your knees in towards you for your release stretch. Okay, so we're going to slowly bring ourselves up to sitting position. then from there we're going to come up onto our feet, and then we're slowly rolling up through the spine. Well done everyone, I hope you feel lengthened and strengthened after that. Have a great day, rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.